jurisdiction of a race, be it assembly, senate, school board, water district, whatever it is. Individual units are not empowered to endorse. They select delegates that then appear before a endorsing convention. The way the rules are is the highest elected state official within the area is the one who would call that endorsing convention. I am the Senate District Director for the CRA for this area, and as such I'm the highest state officer in this area. So I called an endorsing convention at the request of Wendy Albright of the Santa Rita unit. It was conferred in by Brian Kegley, who is the president of the other unit. The bylaws specifically say that the convening temporary chair will determine the time, the date, and the number of delegates. Delegates can be no less than 3, no more than 7. In order to be fair as possible, I chose 5 delegates, notified both presidents, and then notified the candidates that we would be meeting tonight. To back up a little bit, having done this for over 35 years, it's great to see you're here, but we've never had a situation in an endorsing convention before where more than the delegates actually, or the delegates and the candidates showed up. So when I was organizing the convention, my first thought was to do it at the Republican headquarters, which is even bigger and more room than this. But unfortunately, the night that was most convenient for one of the units was the first, and that the headquarters tonight is being used by the CCRs, the other Republican organization up here. So knowing that I needed space for roughly 10 or 12 people, the Gracias were kind enough to say that we could meet here, and they have a church that meets here every Wednesday night. For whatever reason, the church isn't meeting here tonight, and so that's why we're able to come down here. That's the background. Excuse me?
Thursday.
Oh, well, she told me Wednesday, so, okay. Well, that's why they're not here. So, I have convened, and I, as the temporary chair, the first thing that we do at a convention like this is we have a Proxies and Credentials Committee, because there were objections raised from both units as to the qualifications of the delegates. And as I have not actually, I've done credentials for the state, but I've not done it at a local level, I contacted Steve Frank, who has a long history with CRA, has been parliamentarian, and has done many of these conventions, and asked him to come and serve as my parliamentarian tonight. In addition, because he has done proxies and credentials, I chose him to do that. And then I gave one delegate from each club. They have been meeting for a lot longer than I thought they would be. And at this point in time, before we begin the meeting, we will have the proxies and credentials report from Mr. Frank.
I think the first time I did a proxies and credentials report was 75 or 76. Been the parliamentarian for 10 years for CRA, and in my 7th year as parliamentarian for the CRP. I'm also the only non-attorney parliamentarian the CRP's ever had. So if you throw legal terms at me, I don't know. The purpose of the Proxies and Credentials Committee is to certify the delegates. As some of you may know, last April, the state CRA was inundated with fraud and corruption.
So is this group.
Excuse me?
So is this group.
I'm not going to, I'm just telling you what happened last April, state CRA. We found, I think it was 97 people that were ineligible to be delegates, and they couldn't be delegates after a thorough investigation of all of them. And we know at state CRP, there's a dramatic problem of like this with the proxy.